It's important to know how to save and recall scenes, and so here's how you do it on the Surface. When you power up the system, the board comes back however the last person left it. Typically, you'll want to load a scene that'll get you closer to where you're going. Here's the Scenes button right here. So when you press that, it gives you a list that you can page through with these up and down arrows to get to the other scenes. Now, let's say I want to load this Jack and Deb scene here that says JND. I touch it, and then I press the recall button, and it takes it a second, and then it loads it. Loads it as it was, with the channels muted as they were, etc., etc. It's important to remember that what you're actually changing is the settings on the mixer, which is in the closet. I don't know why I feel that's important, but that might explain some of the delay, is that you're changing the mixer and then the board updates its settings to reflect that. These scenes are not actually saved here. You'll see the same scenes on the iPad. They're actually in the mixer itself. Another thing to remember is that there's no sense in which you're in a scene once you've recalled it. Once I recall this Jack and Deb scene, for example, once I change the tiniest little thing, it's not the same scene anymore. So there's no sense in which you're in a scene and would rewrite to it later and would have some sort of indication of which scene that you're in. It doesn't work that way. It just recalls settings and then it's done. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Now, in order to save a scene, there's two options. For example, suppose I make some changes to this one and I decide I want to save it. Then while that preset is selected, I can hit Store, and then the little keyboard comes up. I could change the name if I want to or not, and then I hit the Enter button here, and it takes it a few seconds and it rewrites it. Now, the normal thing that you would want to do is to come down here, pick an empty location, and then store in that, in which case you would type in a new name. You'd use the back button here and type in some new name. I'm going to hit Cancel because I really don't want to save this one. But those are the locations that you will be using. I'm going to go through and clear these out periodically so that we just don't end up having too many of them in there. And I'm also going to try to come up with some naming scheme that we can all use to make them easy to find.